Every person has dreamed of becoming a superhero once in their life, or at least wish to have some kind of superpower at one point in life. Well, it's not possible to have superpowers, so the dream remains a dream for most of us. But some are fortunate enough to become a superhero, not in real world, but in the real world. But that also takes a lot of work and perseverance. You can dream about it, work for it, and do everything you can to make it happen, and even after that, you can come short. This may not be the case for many, but this is the unfortunate case of Channing Tatum, who was set to play the character of Gambit on the big screen. Many artists or even people have their own passion that helps them to get out of bed every day, which drives and prepares them to face everything that life throws at them. This is true for everyone, especially Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum has headlined in movies heading from Foxcatcher to 21 Jump Street, but Tatum has been fixated on the movie Gambit for the last decade. Gambit was a feature film centered on the Marvel Comics mutant Gambit. Gambit has remained in production for far too long, changing directors and writers multiple times, slashing of budget, and etc. There is nothing that this movie hasn't seen. Even through all this, what made this movie come this far is the perseverance and dedication put toward by Channing Tatum. It has been over 2 decades since Channing Tatum was first approached to play the role of Gambit on the big screen. The production of the film has to face many setbacks along its way from the beginning, but the passion and love of Channing Tatum towards the character has led the movie production this far. At one point, it was so sure that the production had pulled the plug on the project. Tatum revealed that he was traumatized to hear the news that they were letting go of the movie. And it was hard for the people invested in the project to let it go emotionally and spiritually and kind of mentally. But with the Marvel Studios preparing to release their own version of X-Men, it may be high time that we get to witness the emergence of Gambit on the big screen with all his glory. Gambit, aka Remy LeBeau, made its first comic appearance in the Uncanny X-Men Annual number 14 in 1990. The character was created by the artist Jim Lee and writer Chris Claremont. Later that same year, Gambit appeared in the Uncanny X-Men number 226. Even though Gambit was a late addition to the Marvel Comics, he was well received by the fans and critics. Gambit had his own charm and charisma that sat right with the fans. Like every mutant, Gambit had superhuman abilities such as the creation and manipulation of kinetic energy according to his desire. With Gambit becoming a fan favorite in a short span of time, it was a no-brainer for the cinematic universe to make it into a movie. Filmmakers wanted to get Gambit into the X-Men universe from the earliest days. There were many attempts to get the character into the big screen, but it didn't go anywhere. The director of the first 2 X-Men movies, X2 and X-Men The Last Stand, Bryan Singer, intended to give the character a brief cameo. But the cameo was cut from the movie and Bryan Singer didn't direct a 3rd movie, and the character of Gambit was dropped out of the first trilogy. During that time, Channing Tatum was in the talk of portraying the character on the big screen. At first, the filmmakers planned to introduce the character into the cinematic universe with a bang in the later movie. But the next movie in line was X-Men Origins Wolverine. The film as a whole was not well received, but the character of Gambit was supposed to be a breakout hit, but it was not. Due to scheduling conflicts, Channing Tatum was dropped from the cast and Taylor Kitsch was cast to play Gambit. Finally, Gambit made his first on-screen debut in X-Men Origins Wolverine, but the character was not received well by the audience. The overall didn't go anywhere ultimately, dropping Taylor Kitsch from the role for good, even though he was set to play the character in 3 movies. In 2014, Channing Tatum was recast to play Gambit. Along with Tatum, Léa Seydoux and Lizzy Caplan were also listed to star in the movie. The new film was pitched as an X-Men spin-off film focusing on the early thief years of Gambit in New Orleans, but everything from there onwards went downhill. Initially, Gareth Evans, Darren Aronofsky, and Bennett Miller were approached to direct the film, but all of them turned down the offer. Finally, the job landed on Rupert Wyatt, the director of The Rise of the Planet of the Apes. Hugh Jackman's performance as Wolverine shook the world, and this put a lot of pressure on the director and studio, causing disagreements between the director and the studio, which led Rupert Wyatt to walk out of the film. In 2015, Fantastic Four was released, and it wasn't well received by the audience and caused the movie to flop. The failure of Fantastic Four at the box office led the studio to slash the budget of the Gambit movie. This caused disagreement among the writer to work with a new budget. finally refusing to write the film on the new budget. With the success of Deadpool at the box office in 2016, the producers wanted to restructure the genre of the film to a mature R-rated direction. During the following years, many directors walked in and out of the film, proposing their own twist to the genre, but all the ideas were shifting from the supposed genre they were supposed to stick with. In early 2019, Tatum expressed his interest in directing the movie along with acting in it, but this didn't go through. In 2019, Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, absorbing the rights of the X-Men franchise. After this, no update has been made about Gambit. Gambit has been trapped in the production stage for a long time. That being said, Marvel can be the missing piece that's been holding back the Gambit film from being made. Marvel has started to introduce mutants to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with characters such as Mrs. Marvel and Namor from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Along with this, Marvel has mentioned their grand plan of introducing X-Men into the MCU. Maybe Gambit will be a part of the grand plan. Let's hope it is. Now, let's talk about the casting of Channing Tatum as Gambit. Over the years, Channing Tatum has proven himself as a versatile actor, showcasing his range in a variety of genres including action, drama, comedy, and many more. Tatum has demonstrated his physicality in films such as G.I. Joe, The Rise of Cobra, and White House Down, and has shown he can handle demanding fight scenes and stunts. Moreover, Tatum has a strong on-screen presence and charisma that could translate well into playing a character like Gambit. When it comes to Tatum's enthusiasm towards Gambit, there is nothing to hold back. Tatum has been very open about his passion for the character. He has done everything he could to make his dream come true, even offering to step in as a director during times of distress. But nowadays the actor has lost hope of the film getting made. If I look at Gambit's future in MCU, it is not limited. Gambit is a thief-turned-superhero capable of manipulating kinetic energy. As of the reports, the producers were planning to make this into a rom-com/heist superhero movie. If Marvel plays the right cards, they can introduce Rogue into the MCU. Rogue is the love interest of Gambit in the comics. Gambit and Rogue are one of the most famous couples of X-Men. Moreover, Rogue will be a great addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe with her comic book history. MCU can utilize the character of Gambit in different ways. It does not need to be through a standalone movie alone. MCU can make use of the potential of Gambit by making a spin-off series or a special feature movie. They can bridge a connection between MCU and X-Men films, making the character take a form that has been in the production sector for this long. Since the introduction of the multiverse into the MCU, anything is possible. The existence of different realities can pave the way for Tatum's Gambit to come in action. Well, everyone is hoping that Marvel does something about Gambit that might bring closure to Tatum and let him move on from the role he has been dwelling on for the last 2 decades. So that's a wrap. We hope that you enjoyed the video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like the video. If you are new to our channel, make sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you never miss a beat. Don't forget to check our other videos too, so see you in the next video.